Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Marissa, and today we are talking about fixed versus growth mindset. Now, you have likely heard both of these terms. They've been around quite a bit for the last, I don't know, maybe 8 years or so. And they were coined by Professor Carol Dweck in her famous book, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. So if you haven't seen her on YouTube, you could check out a couple videos. She's a great speaker, and what she says is very interesting. Now, if you're a teacher like me, then you have likely heard of this in the concept, sorry, in the context of teaching the concept maybe to your students, or you've heard of it through some professional development that you had to, sit through. So my advice, first of all, before I start and explain this to you, if you haven't taught the concept to your students, then I would definitely consider either using this video to give them some insight or taking a bit of time in your lesson or even a whole lesson to sort of enlighten them as to what is the difference between fixed and growth mindset, because they very well may not know. So I would note that it's important to understand first that mindset, yes, it's not the only factor that can lead to success. Okay. Obviously, there are different things that can help, such as a good attitude and a strong work ethic, as well as like just general dedication into what you're doing. But mindset can absolutely change the game when it comes to success, and to success within different areas of life as well. So before we start with the 10 ways to develop a growth mindset, we're going to start off with what is a fixed mindset actually? Okay. So a fixed mindset is the idea that you know what your strengths are and you know what your weaknesses are, but you will only choose to complete tasks that you know you will succeed at because that's where your strengths lie. So rather than risking any possible chance of failure, you will only take on those tasks that you know you can do well at, because if you failed, it would just be like the worst, catastrophe, and you don't think you could cope with it. Okay, spoiler, you can cope with it, but okay, that's for another. We'll get into that with with growth mindset. But what happens when people grow with this mindset, that this can cause them to sort of miss out on opportunities that they could have to learn and grow and maybe develop a new skill or a new a new path to success, because a fixed mindset person does not believe that they can change their level of intelligence, or that they can change their ability to do something that in the past people have told them that they can't do, or they themselves have told themselves that they can't do. So a fixed mindset person might say things like, I don't have a talent for this. I've always been this way. I'm just not a math person. It's too late for me to start now. The change would be way too hard. That's especially true if you're older. Or something like, if I were smarter, this would be easier. Those are things. Now, the good news is, if you have ever said any of those things, you might think you're in a fixed mindset, which is possible, but you can become a growth mindset person. It is absolutely 100% achievable. And this video or this podcast, if you're listening, is for you. If you have been interested in figuring out how to turn yourself into a growth mindset person, or maybe how to turn or help your child become a growth mindset person, or if you're a teacher like me, like your students, right? Help your students become a growth mindset person. All right, let's get into it. 10 ways to cultivate a growth mindset. Number 1. Going back 5 seconds ago to where I was using the fixed mindset vocabulary, notice where you are using fixed mindset vocabulary and work on changing it. So if you are the type of person that's like, well, that's how it is, that's how I am, I've always been that way, I want you to start changing your vocabulary to, well, I haven't succeeded at that before, but it doesn't mean I can't try again. Or let me see if I can even get a little bit better at this. Or I might not be able to do this yet. And we will talk in number 3 about the power of yet. But really looking at your fixed mindset vocabulary. So really pausing first and noticing, are you saying things that a fixed mindset person might say, right? Which could indicate that you do have a fixed mindset within certain areas of your life. It doesn't mean that you have that fixed mindset everywhere, but maybe within certain areas. Number 2, stop looking to others for validation on your successes. All right. So this is a really good one to teach your students as well. It's a lot harder for students or for younger people to do this than it is for older people. But even older people tend to sometimes believe that they are valued because of how other people see them, not because of how they see themselves. So I want you to stop looking for that validation from other people. Like, so when someone else says, wow, look at how smart you are, I'm so proud of you, right? That's validation on your intelligence. Remember, we said before, fixed mindset people believe that intelligence can't be changed, right? So these types of people will also look for validation on what they can't do, on their failures. Oh, don't worry, you tried. That's just not your thing, right? How many times have we been told by a parent, a teacher, ourselves, like, oh, don't worry, you gave it your best shot. That's just not your strength. That's just not where you are, the best at something. And then in exactly the same flip side, we're like, oh, wow, you are so smart. I'm so proud of you for doing so well on that. Right. That validates your intelligence and your ability. Well, it doesn't actually validate your ability. We'll look at that later, but I want you to start looking to within yourself. So if you did well on a test, did you work at it? Right. So then looking at, oh my gosh, like I worked so hard. I'm so proud of myself. And if you didn't do as well, we will look at strategies like later in this podcast, in this video, on things that you could do instead. Okay. So number 3 is embracing the power of yet. Okay. Now this is directly from Professor Dweck's book, the idea of yet. One word, so incredibly powerful when it comes to challenges. Because a fixed mindset is I can't do it. And a growth mindset is I can't do it yet. Right? So just that tiny word indicates to your subconscious that, oh, we're still trying at this. We're still working at this. We're going to get this. We just have to work a little bit harder than maybe like Joe has to work at it, because maybe Joe has a little bit more of a talent in that area than we do. So, but the harder we work at it, we are going to continue to make progress. And by using that word yet, you develop that ability to be like, oh, okay, I got this. I can do this. No problem. All right. Number 4 is start valuing effort over a final result. Okay. Effort, even the slowest effort, even like 1%, okay, 1% further than you were before, builds resilience, strength of mind, and perseverance to believe that those are qualities that you now have, that you can push yourself forward to do anything you set your mind to. So remember before when I was saying, if you have been told, wow, you're so smart, I'm so proud of you. I don't want you to value your intelligence about something. I want you to value the effort that you put forward. Whenever one of my students is like, oh, but I only got a 70. I'm like, a 70, that's amazing. Like, look how much effort you put forward. Look how much you tried. Look at how like you boosted your grade by 2%. I mean, that is amazing, right? Instead of, oh, don't worry, you tried. This just isn't your strength. You'll get it next time. Like, keep, doing your best or whatever. Always, always, always focus on the effort. So within yourself, I really tried my best at that. Like, I'm really actually proud of myself that I came as far as I did. That is better than I thought I was going to do. Like, wow, good job, self. And I always tell my kids, like, just, pat yourself on the shoulder and be like, good job, self. All right. Number 5, see failures and this is a big one, as learning opportunities and steps on your path to success. One of my favorite quotes is, you cannot get to success without passing failure. Like, you can't become super successful if you don't understand what it is like to fail, but not just what it is like to fail and to really learn from the failure instead of just giving up from the failure. So a growth mindset person looks at failure as a sign of bravery because you tried. And instead of just being like, I'm useless, I can't do this, they always analyze. They look at, what can I learn from this? How can this help me grow? Right? You have to learn to analyze your own thinking when it comes to growth mindset, because that is the sign that you are growing in, that your mindset is well, I mean, ideally, right? Your mindset is growing your strength and resilience and perseverance and determination and your basic ability to do hard things. So whenever you have some sort of a failure, I want you to stop and I want to be like, okay, I failed at this. This did not work the way it was expected to, but what can I learn from it? I always say to my students, if they don't do well on a test, I'm like, let's get it. Let's figure out, okay, where did you go wrong? Why did you go wrong? What could we have done differently? What could we have looked at differently? What should you have studied more of? Or like revise more of, right? We always analyze, how could it get, how can we push it forward that next 1%, 2% in the next assessment? All right, number 6. When you are faced with a difficult task or a challenge, okay? And this is especially true of like a younger generation who doesn't have a lot of critical thinking because either parents have to solve problems for them instead of letting them fail and figure out how they could do it better next time. They don't have that ability to sort of solve the problem for themselves. Like, for example, I have a friend and she is she's in her later 30s and she works in the marketing department at a big company, and they hired a 22-year-old girl to work at the company. And even though my friend took her and showed her like the directions of how to get to the company, the next day that she was working, she got lost getting to the company. And instead of stopping and being like, okay, who could I ask for directions? Could I call someone? Could I figure it out? Where am I? Could I look it up on someone else's like GPS? I'm not sure her phone. Well, I'm not sure what happened with her phone and the GPS. I'm not sure about that. But what did she do instead? She basically gave up, didn't go to work, went to her parents' house, her mom's house, and then had her then called my friend at the company, told her what happened, and had her mom even get on the phone and be like, we're really sorry about that. Like, could so-and-so like just come back tomorrow and we'll figure it out together? And my friend was like, no, like she can't come back. I'm sorry, but this just sort of shows that she doesn't have, the problem solving skills that we need. And she's more than welcome to just like stay at home today with you. And she lost her job because of that, because there would have been many other ways that she could have tried to figure out where she was going to get to this building. Even if she was late, like better that she's late, but shows up rather than just gives up and goes to her mom and her mom validates what she did, right? Instead of, no, get up, let's figure it out. You're going to go to work. You're going to call them and tell them you're going to be late and you're going to go, right? So that's the difference with fixed and growth mindset. Okay. Number 7, reflect each day on what did you fail at today or what didn't go your way today, and what did you learn today? Even if it's just one thing, every day, get into the habit of making it part of your evening routine, or even like right when you get home from work or home from school or whatever. and actually think back and be like, okay, what was a win today and what did not go according to plan? And if you can, like whatever didn't go according to plan, really look at that and be like, okay, could we like, is there something I could have done differently? You can do a quick like analysis of it and then celebrate your win. Be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm so proud of myself that I didn't give up, or I spoke to this person with more confidence, or I asked for help when I needed it, whatever. It can be something like something small. And you want to celebrate those ones for sure. Reflecting each day, great practice to get into. That's definitely something I do every day. All right, number 8, start looking for other growth mindset people to surround yourself with. Now, I can't stress this enough. You may or may not have heard of the quote, you are, I mean, I don't even know if it's a quote, but it's definitely a famous line in some famous book. You are an average of the 5 people you hang around with the most, right? So ideally, if you hang out with negative people, you chances are will be a negative person. If you hang out with people who are involved in, drugs and partying, you're probably a person who does drugs and partying. If you hang out with really successful business-minded people, you are probably running a business. If you hang out with growth mindset people, you will learn how to develop a growth mindset. So even if you don't have a growth mindset right now, look around for people who do have a growth mindset and start to bring those people into your inner circle. Even if it's just a matter of you're going to make a point of speaking to that person once a week or for like 5 minutes a day, or you're going to make a point of when you have a question about how you could approach a situation, you're going to ask them first, how would they have approached it? Or what is one way, like you're feeling really like you're just really demoralized about the situation. What could you do? How could you think about it instead? A growth mindset person is going to give you that information. Now, this could be a mentor, a coach. This could be someone in your family, a friend, a colleague. This could be anyone. And you want to use these people to ask for feedback. Notice I am not calling it criticism, because fixed mindset people call it criticism because they already think they are the best at whatever it is. So anything you are telling them to do differently is you're criticizing them. No, growth mindset people see this as feedback. Now, obviously, okay, guys, I'm going to preface this for 1 second. If you are dealing with someone who really wants you to fail and is not in it for your success, and they are giving you feedback that really sounds like criticism, the way that they're delivering it, that's not a growth mindset person. And that's not a person you want to be surrounding yourself with. Okay. You need to be surrounding yourself with people that when you see them and talk to them, you feel their energy. Their energy is building your energy up, right? Immediately if a person is tearing your energy down or building your energy up. If you feel intuitively that someone is dragging your energy down, that is not, I repeat, not someone you want in your inner circle, and they need to go. All right. They do not warrant any of your time. Do not ask them for advice. Go to the people who you actually feel, this person supports me. This person wants me to do well. I can feel them building up my energy. They are going to have a place in my inner circle. Okay. And like they will have that resilience in the face of difficulty, right? That can be an example to you. The way that they approach things will help you approach things, will help you learn how to approach things. So that's number 8. Number 9, celebrate every single one of your tiny, small wins. I mean, and this could be as simple as like, I don't know, you remember to floss that morning, or the barista at the coffee shop made your coffee extra amazing that day, or like your students were super calm that day, or the student that is never does anything actually worked for you that day, or just little tiny things. Like if anything you did moved one of your goals even 1% forward, you celebrate that, because that is amazing. Every small win counts towards the big win at the end, right? Like You've got goals. If you're not writing down your goals, please drop me a line and let me know if you need a video on goal setting. I will hook that up straight away. Or a podcast, obviously. So all of your effort and perseverance, when you start celebrating your wins, will pay off. And if those little, like, if the things that you didn't win at creep into your mind, what do? You don't wallow in that. You're like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I do remember that that didn't go according to plan. Why didn't it go according to plan? What could I learn from it? What could I have done differently next time? Like, that is how you shift your mindset into thinking in towards growth rather than fixed. And last but not least, number 10, celebrate the wins of others too. Okay. Don't like, don't be one of those people that is jealous because someone else did better than you at something or someone else succeeded at something. No, no, no. Jealousy is one of the lowest energy emotions. You do not want to get into that space, okay? That headspace. Recognize that everybody here is on a journey. Everybody here is running their own game of life. And we need people to celebrate our wins with us because that just brings us up even more. So be one of those people. If someone succeeds, learn from their journey, learn from how they succeeded, right? Be like, wow, that's amazing. Like, what did you do to, get to this point, right? If you are in, with teachers, like if you see a teacher who has amazing classroom control, just like take 5 minutes, be like, okay, like what are your strategies? Like, what do you do? What have you learned over the years? Rather than being like, oh, I can't believe that teacher, like she just thinks she's so much better. No, she doesn't. I promise you, they don't. So learn from those teachers, right? Fixed mindset people see the success as others as a threat to their own success. Do not be like that, right? Try to think of it from a growth mindset perspective. Study their strategies, and you will be able to flourish right beside them, right? Instead of surrounding yourself with people who are negative and are dragging people down and gossiping about people behind their back and trying to maybe make themselves feel better by insulting other people. Don't be like that. Like, use your surroundings to enrich your own journey and be inspiring to other people around you. And just remember, most importantly, that you have the ability to change your mindset today. You can start today. You can start right now. And if there is, if you found value in this podcast or this video, please like, subscribe, comment. If there's anything specific you want to ask me or you would like me to do a video or a podcast on a specific topic, please put it in the comments. And last but not least, I did put the link in the notes about with regards to joining my community. If you want emails, especially if you're a teacher, with tips and tricks on teaching, there's a nice little free teacher mindset guide that you can get there as well. Yeah, and I look forward to seeing you. And I'm just sending you so much love for the day. And here's to growing onward and upward. Bye-bye.